So I did your course. I did Mark's course. I did Melina's course. I've done everyone's course. Okay, so I'm at the point now where I officially have started reaching out to the signing services and then also reaching out to some like particular offices or just people that might use my service, that might need my service.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out how to get work to come in.
Okay. So when
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say that you've been going out to the different places to get work, where have you been going?
No, I've done it by email. I know
Okay.
I have to go in person, but
Yes.
yes. But so far, I've done it by email. So I've sent a bunch of emails out, but I
Okay.
haven't.
Okay. So when I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. When you said that you
Yeah.
sent a bunch of emails out, did you like do more than one or just one and then email blast?
No, it was a good amount.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But like a good amount, so it's like the title company got one email from you and then another email from you?
Yeah,
Or
correct.
okay. All right. And then did you follow it up with a phone call?
No, I have not. I have
Okay.
not followed up with a phone call. I'm
Okay.
terrified.
No, that's okay. All right. So I think so the framework that I usually do when I follow up and I call is I call them up and I'm like, "Hey, did you get a chance to look at my email?" And then so that's a really good way for them to realize like that you are one following up and then two, if it went straight to spam, they're gonna look at it and see what it is that you're talking about because I don't always say that it's who I am. I just say, hey, did you get a chance to look at my email? And they're like, oh, sorry, what email are you looking at? Because they don't know. So yeah, I think that would help. And then same thing that when we were talking about the cold calling for that class, where you just ask, okay, do you guys have a remote online notary company that you work with already? And so they're either going to say yes or they're either going to say no and then be like, okay, if they already do, then send over your information just so that way they're backup because things change
Right.
all the time. It's always like I'm sure I've messed up at some point and then someone else, some other notary has been like, "Hey, I'm here." And then like I lose business to them because I dropped the ball. So, yeah, just call them.
Okay.
It's in the area. So for the list or however you were doing that, do you have a phone number attached to them?
I got it through their website, so I could just go back to all the emails I've sent and search
Okay.
up the name of the company and just get their phone number from the website the same way I got the email.
Yes. And then the other thing is make sure that you follow that framework or at least watch the videos on the objection training because they'll hit you with the, oh, I'm a notary. And then what would you say?
That I'm a remote online notary,
Okay.
that I could do it at any time
Okay.
from anywhere,
Yes.
unlike their notary after hours on weekends.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. Yes. So the easy, sorry. The easy
I
thing,
remember that.
yes. So the easy thing for us is that if you say, okay, what do you do if someone's out of the country? And then they're like, oh, what do you do if someone's out of state? And then it's automatically because sometimes the admin is, oh, this does not happen. But they're like, oh, if it's after hours, I just drive out to them. And so then if they hit you with that and it's like, what do you do for out of state? But then at the same time, like, I know you said that you were terrified, but it's just people like you and me that are answering the phones in like these title company offices that are probably bored and then like they do gatekeep you because they don't know the value. But like as soon as you get into that, you will be able to start working with them. But then it's funny because sometimes the people that gatekeep you, like you end up working with them more than the escrow officer. It's like the admin is actually dealing with the day to day.
With everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I would call them. I would go to the in person and then I would try and find some mixers and then do what we were talking about for the referral groups as well within the
Okay.
mentorship. Try and reach out to some of those. I did see that you were doing well on your Instagram. Like I like the way that you've put together those things. But I think is it just do you can I think it's just the pictures do you feel comfortable with doing a, hey, like just doing like a quick reel
Like a
of
video?
yourself? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would just say I'm a remote online notary. I can serve these areas if you like, or like I would toot your own horn because you're bilingual, right? Yeah, you're bilingual. So I would say I'm a bilingual notary that is based in Florida, so I can do biometrics. I'm on this platform and this platform. I'm 24/7. And for your situation, you can be 24/7 because you have the backup
Yeah.
of everyone. Yeah, I think that would be the best thing to do. So try and do some reels. And then if you can also do some B-roll. Like I just did B-roll of me like working on a computer and then have the overlay of whatever it is that you want to say. Like those types of things work out really well. I did cold outreach too. So
What?
cold outreach on Instagram. So cold outreaches means that you have different kinds of leads. So you have like warm leads and like hot leads and like cold leads. So cold leads is like cold calling, like they have no idea who you are. And so I would go, and this is something that you can do when you're like with your baby and everything. Like just find law firms or title companies on Instagram and then just follow them. I would like a couple and then just be like, hey, what's a good email for talking about a possible partnership? And then you have to follow up with them. But like for the title companies and the law firms, it could be anyone, anywhere. But typically the person that is on
Okay.
the Instagram is not going to be the decision maker. So just ask for the email of the office. Oh, you're breaking up a bit.
Okay. Uh, Wait 1 second. Can you hear me
So
now, or
yeah,
am I still?
I can't hear you yet. Okay, wait, now I can. All right, now
Okay.
I can. Yeah, hi, we're back.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I would try that. Reach out to the signing services that are within the mentorship. Reach out directly to Stamper Signing, Comfortable Closings, M Closings, all of those ones that are in the course and everything, and you can name drop me. So
I sent emails out to the ones that you referred on your
Mhm.
course. I haven't really received anything from any of them. So,
Okay.
so my thing is okay. Like, I'm not a very outgoing person. But
Mhm.
I'm hardworking. So if you tell me what I have to do, I will do it. It just doesn't come naturally from me. I need guidance. I
Yeah.
sent emails out to all of those and some other ones that I found separately, and some of the ones that Melina said to send
Oh,
out.
yeah.
However, I haven't really gotten answers from them. So I don't know. Do I just keep insisting
Yes.
because, or are they gonna get annoyed? Like this girl,
No,
like, do
no,
I send
no.
emails every day? Like,
You can. It would be go get it. Okay, I will give you an example. For me, like I'm a signing service, like I send out work and do all of that other stuff. For me, I don't remember that people exist because I'm so busy that like
right,
legitimately the object permanence, if they're not directly in front of my face, I just forget that they exist. I'm sure that there's really good notaries or people in general that I would like to follow up with, and I just absolutely forget because I'm so busy in my own like world. So, like any of the notaries that I consistently work with, the only reason why I do is because they're in my face all of the time. I'm
okay.
being dead serious. I'm thankful. So, it's the advertising, and I use my Instagram as like a CRM so that like you popped up on my feed and I was like, "Oh, cool. Like we have a meeting later on." So that really does make it so that it's top of mind. And
It
I'm being,
reminded
you what?
it reminded you of our meeting.
Yes, yes, because I was like, okay, we have that meeting. I knew it already. It's on my calendar, but I'm just saying in general, you cannot market too much. There has never been a point where I've marketed where they're like, stop calling me. Never, never. Yeah. And like even when I was talking to some of the title companies, there I was like, how many times do people come in person? And they're like, almost never. And so I'm like, really? And I'm like, you do know that notaries are terrified of you guys, right? And they're like, of us? Yeah. I know. And she was like, but I get bored at the office. Just tell them to come over and bring us stuff. And I was like, all right, I will tell them. So yeah, it doesn't always come out to like immediate, but you saw in the mentorship, that lady that I've been following and nurturing for probably 2 years now, just now finally got to the point where she'll talk to me about partnership. Yeah, but it's definitely a long game. The legacy that you'll be able to build is going to
Right.
be like ridiculous. For me, I think of the business as something that I can build up, and then if I need to, I can always exit out and sell the business, but that's going to be something that will fund my kids' school.
Of
And
course.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the goal.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not gonna flinch at braces. I'm not gonna flinch at if he wants decent car later on. And so it's okay, this is going to be, and that's what everybody is like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. And I'm like, I do it because this is easy. I would rather do cold calls to people that I don't even know that I can. That's always the baseline of what I think about when I'm like, can I do this? And it's okay. Yes, I can. And I know that you're the same way because we've had this.
For me, and I honestly want to thank you so much because I just a little backstory. Just like understand, I grew up like with two working parents. Like my parents worked all the time. It was basically me and my sister. I barely got to see my parents. Like sometimes for birthdays, and I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. I wouldn't be able to see my dad or anything like that. When I found out I was having a kid, I was like, I don't want that for my kid. I want my kid to grow up with mom and dad, a
Mhm.
healthy home, and for me to be able to, I'm grateful that my parents worked as much as they did because they were able to give my sister and I a good life. But I would like to be present and not
Mhm.
have send them off to a daycare like majority of people have to do because they have to work.
Yeah.
And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was lucky enough to have a husband that was like, you know what, this is our plan. Like our kid comes first. You could stay with him at home and I'll deal with everything, which is a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
We're young. He's 24. I'm 25, and we're getting our life together. We just bought a house. Like, it's just a lot on his plate. Thank you. It's a
Yeah.
lot on his plate, and at the same time, I feel bad because I'm like, I'm here at home. I'm not affording anything. I'm not help. I'm helping in the sense that I'm taking care of our child, which is a peace of mind that we have. That I'm like, I'm not leaving my kid in a daycare. God knows what's going on there, and I have no clue. He's a 1 year old. He can't even tell you, hey, mommy, this happened. So I'm grateful on that end. But then sometimes I would get so depressed because I was like, I want to do something to where my child is proud of me later on in life. To have something,
Mhm.
not just, yeah, my mom gave up everything to take care for me, but
Yeah.
I don't have anything that I could say, I did this for you. Here you go. Your life is set. So thank you because before I found out about you, I would struggle to get out of bed in the morning. I had to because I have a baby to take care of, but it was so depressing just thinking that I had accomplished nothing with my life at such a young age. And I would have got other people, even like Eileen, like she's accomplished so much. Obviously, her situation is completely different than mine. So I can't compare myself to other people because if not, I would be in a very bad mental space. But I honestly thought that I wasn't gonna be able to do anything. It was either I work or I take care of my child, and obviously my child
Mhm.
to me will always be my priority.
Yeah.
So thank you because this is something I didn't even know that I could do something from home and still be able to work and for my not just for myself but for my kid in the long run. God forbid something happens, I want to make sure that he's set,
Yes.
that he doesn't grow up with money problems or mom and dad are arguing because there's money problems. And I want to provide the best life that I can for him in the long run. And this is my drive to make this work out. And if you're willing to guide me, I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll do whatever I have to do to make this work out. Like he is my drive. It's like my son is
Yeah.
the reason I even get up in the morning. So whatever I could do to make sure that he has a secured future, like I'm willing to do it, no
Okay.
matter.
Yeah. That's always,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, that's okay. Because I was in the same position where I was like, we have it's different, but the main driver is my son also. And then like to be able, like, there comes a point where you realize, and you'll get there too, because you're already like way more there than I think that it took me way longer to get to your point, like where you're at right now, which is good to realize that this is something that is a legacy. This is going to be a book of business that you can sell or continue and have him do it if you want, or have other team members do this so that way you can step away. Because
Right.
and of course, yes, I will do, you're with me, but in general, you'll get to the point where the general progression is that as long as you just keep doing the marketing and then keep doing the training, like the mentorship class and everything, there's almost no way, because you will build out and like you'll build out your marketing so that way it's like almost an engine, and like it won't stop. And so you just have to really embody that you're a notary literally for the rest of your life. But like you'll have people from years from now asking if you're still a notary and then having you be top of mind. And then you can either do the same thing that I do, either take it if I can or offload it if I can't, so that way I can go to Legoland or go to Disney. So that way it's not
Okay.
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing this weekend. So anyway,
Oh, okay.
so it's like okay. But yeah, so I think that you will definitely be able to get to the point where you like the same thing as what I was, where I was like overwhelmed with work. I know. And
I
like
hope.
that's the problem that I want you to have, because that's the problem that I had. But like now I have the team, so then it's not as overwhelming for me. If you have to take your kid to soccer a little bit later, but like soccer, and you want to block off the 4 to 4:30 for his like time frames, like that's fine because you can do that because then you'll have the team. But it's honestly, this career has been I don't know of any other that could be this flexible and then also lucrative. You'll definitely get there. But I do think that you should, like circling back, I do think that you should start marketing with like reels on specifics. So like the storytelling, I think does help a lot for if you have a signer that, is in France, like title companies, if you have a signer that's in France, like I can help you and everything like that. So give sometimes specific scenarios, because people like to watch stories rather than, but do a mix of both. So that way you can see what will work better for you. And then you'll also get to the point where eventually you'll find, because there's different types of, I feel more comfortable doing long form. So like YouTube and then cutting it up and then doing I don't like doing this where I'm like talking in front of the reels as much, but there's some people that are like completely kill it at that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't feel as comfortable. Like I like having everything be a little bit more staged. And so that way I can like think about it a little bit. But some people do it really well where they're in their car and then it feels like very personal, but I just can't do it right now. Yeah, but everything is just a progression. And then eventually I'm 3 years in and it's almost like a machine. But if you use the social media marketing, it really does help a lot, especially as like busy moms. It's a way to clone yourself. I think that in general, like if you wanted to do a YouTube, like we can talk about that too, because I do think that helps with lead generation. And that's something that's going to be all the time. Like you will get leads from that years from now. And that will be something that, like, even if it's not you, but it's your company, you'll still be able to get leads in. And then you just might have to tell them that you work with a team now. But in general, like, you can still attract the right type of clients with your YouTube or your content and then just go from there. So it
Okay.
just sometimes feels like a lot all at once, but you'll get there. It will get there.
I'm ready. I'm no matter what. Once you've worked for somebody else, I feel like if you could take the load of work that they're giving you for the amount of money that they're paying you, which is
Yes.
nothing,
Yeah.
and they want to give you every day more and more work and not raise your salary, like you could
Mhm.
work the same or more, even if it's obviously it's always going to be more because you have to work your butt off to get out there to get known, but
Yeah.
it'll be worth it because you're doing it for yourself.
Yes. And yeah, I know, because that was another thing. And sometimes I feel like we have a little bit of a leg up as like parents over someone that might, because it's like we have our why running around constantly, like
Yeah,
24/7. And it's
yeah,
okay. I don't want to do this. And I was like, but I love my son, so I'm
yeah.
gonna. So yeah, that's what happened with the mixers and stuff too, because in general, beforehand, I'm pretty introverted in general. Like sometimes people are like, you have a YouTube channel? I'm like, yes, I do. But like also at the same time, the YouTube channel is and the social media is a way to have a resume without having to be like, hey, I'm the best notary in the entire world for every single person. I'm just like, oh, well, I'm whatever. But I'm just like, oh yeah, let's follow each other on Instagram. And it feels natural. And then they can see that I'm like really about my business and
Mhm.
I would take care of their clients well and I would represent them well. So then that has led to a natural progression. So I think that it's better than business cards, I think you still need to do, but also like when you follow people or just in general when you're out and about at mixers, the social media aspect is also an important aspect. Do you have any questions about the social media aspect of things?
So then you said to incorporate reels,
Yes.
to make videos targeting specific audiences, and then just general. Okay, I could do that. That's not really a problem. I just,
Okay.
yeah. And then how many times a day do you suggest that I post? I've been posting 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, I really, some resources to be able to find out about social media marketing. I like Gary V. He's on YouTube. So
Okay.
one of the ways that I learned about social media I have not I have no idea how I got into some of these where I learned all of this marketing, but in general, it's all through YouTube. Um,
Okay.
So to learn about social media marketing, I very much like Gary V. He talks about how to do personal branding and how to like make the content. And then Hormozy has been really helpful as far as doing like the sales and speaking to like your audience and making stuff so that way it's like a lot of it is mindset where it's like you have to be able to do more than a normal person and like normal people just I think underestimate what they can actually do as far as output. So it's I don't know. It's easy to say that it's hard to do things until you actually do it and to a volume that is like absolutely insane. So I think that 2 or 3 times a day, if you can, is good because I do the same thing where like I do the majority of my reels while I'm hanging out with my kid. And so I'm like, all right, he doesn't mind if I listen to the same thing over and over again as I'm like trying to make it so that way everything like matches.
Right.
We're watching Curious George and I'm like making the reels and stuff. So I don't know. You can schedule it out too. So like you can try and schedule batch stuff so that way everything is
Organized.
yeah, organize. And so, like, for the reels, I'll just give you like a little. I usually try and do a call out at the very top. So, if you're talking specifically to, I would say, like, lawyers, are you still asking your clients to come into the office? And then there's an easier way. And then remote online notarization. My name's Samia and all of that.
Samia. It's
Samia,
okay.
I'm so sorry. I was
It's
like, as soon
okay.
as I said it, I was like, oh no. So yeah, but I think that has been helpful. And then you like only make it like 6 or 7 seconds. Use trending sounds. And I try and make sure that there's no swearing in the trending sounds and it's not too like ridiculous. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes they're like
Professional.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a good song, but I can't put this out. Yeah, and then make sure it has contrast. And then I like to do a little bit of a variety from things with my face on it versus things that are just generic and everything, where it doesn't have as much, it has storytelling and it's not as boring as whatever, because eventually your clients will follow you too. And that is always an interesting thing because it's oh no, you found me. But like it's good because then I stay top of mind. But yeah, that's always an interesting thing. So they're like, but it's funny because then sometimes you can, if you talk about lead time, like how much time you need for a remote online notarization, like mine is 4 to 6 hours. And so they're like, I know that you've said on your Instagram that it's 4 to 6 hours, but I have this emergency notarization. Can you do it? And I was like, yes, I'll send it to me. That's just like the general, that's but the ideal. But if you have an emergency, still send it in. But like, I know
Right.
that they're watching. So
Yeah, yeah, of
I'm
course.
like, okay, at least you're paying attention. So that's good. Yeah, but the social media has helped a lot as far as staying top of mind, even for friends and family. They're like, are you still doing the notarization? I was like, always, always.
Yeah.
Um, what else? I think you already have it where it's a picture of you smiling, and then for your link, I would probably either put it to your, if you have a link tree, because typically, and I'm sorry, I didn't look. Typically, for your link, you either want to do it to your website or to a link tree, because most people from Instagram are not going to book you from Calendly directly. They want to talk to you first and
Right.
just make it as easy as possible to do work with you. What else? Do you already know how to make reels?
Yeah, I know how to make reels. I have a link to my website.
That's fine. That should be
So
fine.
okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as long as your website has something where it has your phone number and then an email, like usually it's on the top right. So that should be fine.
So my website, the way it's sorry if I interrupted you.
You're fine.
The way it's laid out is pretty much the first thing that pops up is like for them to book me. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
link that takes them
You're
straight to
fine.
Calendly for them to book me. And then if you
Mm-hmm.
scroll, you will see a contact me that goes
Okay.
straight to my email, and then I'm sure my phone number is somewhere in there as well.
Okay.
It's all one page. I made it pretty simple so that there's no like confusion or oh this is too
Yeah.
complicated. I'm just gonna get out of here. It's
Yeah.
all a one page thing. Everything is on that one page.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so that should be great because for the lead conversion and stuff, like I still to this day I have clients that will call me and they're like, "Hey, I know, can you do this for this client in wherever?" And I'm like, "I don't care where they are." Yes, I can do it. I do, but like I don't. And then that was the other thing, and especially for you, and it might not be as easy to answer the phone all the time, is to make those YouTube videos and answer the most common questions that you will get. And so I just made, I can send this over to you so you can just like basically copy it if you want.
Okay.
But I just did it where it's the common questions. So lead time. My signer's in a different country. Can you still do it? My signer speaks a different language. Can you still help? So answer all of the questions that they typically will ask you. So that way, when they do find you, they can find your YouTube, they can look through that organically without having to call you all of the time. Because, yeah, you want to make it so that way. The other thing is that I did a YouTube video about like how to get signed on. So, how to get signed on to any of the platforms that you're using. I have another one of an explanation as to how remote online notarization works. So that way I can send it to my signers, but that was all because I wasn't always able to call at the time because I was with my kid watching Curious George. And so then it was like, so then I was like, okay, how do I still do this where I'm not necessarily available, but I still want to get in front of them and then answer any of the questions that they have and still be professional. But this isn't business, it's not always ideal for me to talk to them during business hours, even if it is business.
Right.
So yeah, I have my kid. I'm in story hour. What do you want? Yeah. I also, okay, so this is the other thing for business. I don't, it is what it is, but sometimes I don't really use that as an excuse for the, like when I'm talking to clients or anything. If I'm at the grocery store and it's like after hours and I answer the phone anyway, and then like he chirps up, I'm like, oh, I have my little assistant. And they're like usually fine with that because but in general, if I am not available and I'm not necessarily in a meeting, but like I'm with him, I just say that I was at an appointment or I was otherwise occupied. So it's like they don't need to know because sometimes I think there's a little bit of a bias against that.
Yes.
So I'm looking out for us. So it's like, all right, just tell them that you're in a meeting. Yeah. Or the other thing that I've also tried to implement, especially as like a parent, is that if I have a specific time frame where I know, let's say I have school pickup or let's say you have a soccer game, you can just tell them for when you're scheduling them or in general. This doesn't matter as much if you have the team, but I'll just say, hey, I have a hard stop at 4 o'clock. So anytime before that, I'm available. And then anytime like tomorrow or anytime after 7. So stuff like that. I do tell them that. So that way they know that that's non-negotiable because there are non-negotiables for me of things that I cannot miss. Yeah. Which will also, if you do Calendly as a solo, you can always just block off those times. But I think sometimes it would be better to just let them know what times you are available and then or ask them what times they're available. Excuse me. And then just work with the team. So it depends. But yeah, so just I think that those are things that would be helpful for when you're going through it. What else? What other questions do you have?
Okay, so at the point that I'm at right now, what do you
Mm-hmm.
suggest that I do so that I start getting? What do I need to do? I feel like a lost puppy, and
Follow up with those emails.
okay,
You've already done some of the work. So how many emails did you send out?
it was, I don't even know how many, but it was a whole lot. It was
Okay.
a lot of
So
emails.
yes. So start going back and start calling them. So in general, I know that it sounds like a lot, but if
Okay,
you go back and you watch the video that I did with Melina or any of the times that I started getting clients, she started scaling after she had 25 different title companies. You only need 5 title companies that send you 2 a week to make 100 grand a year. So like with the understanding that it's $150, we're not talking about any of the other stuff that's going out, but like just bottom line, $150 twice a week, five, that's 100K. I think that math works out right. So you just need a couple and then you can expand, but focus on at least 25 and then hit them. So
25 title companies.
25 title companies, yes. And then hit them and just call them.
Okay,
And like, I would add them to a mailing list as well. Okay, order of operations. Call back 25 of the title companies that you sent out an email to. Do
okay,
the framework that we just talked about, and then let me know how that goes.
okay.
So just cold call those people, ask them if they got the email, say that you're a remote online notary that wants to work with your office. Who can I talk with? Or what's a good email? Who's the decision maker that would be able to make that choice? Do you already work with remote online notaries? And so also the other thing is that I make notes on who I already called and like basically what they said. I make sure that I put their name and then anything that was like if they already do remote online notarization, what company they work with. So if they work with a signing service and they're like, oh no, we work with whoever, write that down, and then reach out to that title company or reach out to that signing service and say, hey, I just met with or I just spoke with such and such title company. They recommended that, or they said that they work with you. I want to work with you as that notary. I'm right in the area in case anything happens if you needed to, or you're a remote online notary that wants to work with that company. Because that way you know that they're actually sending out RONs. Yeah, because there's definitely more signing services than just the ones that I have on there that are using remote online notaries. So to get marked as preferred would be really helpful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then follow up if you haven't already with some of those other signing services. Just okay, yeah. So your homework, call those title companies at least 25 over the next, what day is today? Today's Thursday. So
Yeah.
by next week sometime, just have called all of them. So 25.
Okay.
And then also send an email as a follow-up and say, hey, I just want to see, I'm a referral from Katie Tremulous. I'm a remote online notary, and I just want to see if you wanted to do a meeting so that way we can talk about being marked as preferred. So that's the general ask of what you would want. And then you can go from there for ask for some sort of feedback and like some sort of response. Yeah.
Okay, and that's for the signing services, right?
For the signing services, yeah. Ask if you can have a meeting so that way you can talk about getting marked as preferred.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm taking notes.
You're fine. And I'll give you the recording after this. It's just going to take a while for everything to render and then for me to get
Okay.
it over to you. So you'll get it, just
Perfect.
not, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I think
Okay.
that's the general outline of things. Just do those calls. If you can find a mixer or anything like that you have time for, and your husband might be able to watch your baby, I would just go maybe do it for like an hour or so. If you can find title companies, law firms, any type of mixer in your area, I would try and go to if you think that there might be like more than five or six, and if it's either free or under $45 to go into it.
Mixer. Is that what you were saying when we met? Like people that give you like a list of title companies or something like that?
No, that's a list broker. So mixers are like the get-togethers that you can go to after hours.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like it'll be sometimes it'll be like a broker's open or like a free conference or a free seminar. Like I would go and try and find some of those. But like they also have title companies that will throw events that like they're usually trying to get realtors in. But if you go to, it would be a good opportunity to meet with that title company, give them some support. If you post about them on social media, that does also help. If you post about them on social media, you'll most likely get more of a second look than you would otherwise if you just show up. So make sure that you take pictures too if you go to one of those. So also, if there's any underwriters in your area, so underwriters like Westcor, Fidelity, WFG, you can always look on either Eventbrite or Facebook or just reach out to them directly to like the title companies and say, hey, do you guys have any mixers? I'd love to attend. I want to start networking more. Sometimes they'll
Okay.
say, oh yeah, I have this thing coming up, come with, or you're more than welcome. They usually want a good turnout, especially if you do social media.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, so you said on Facebook I could find those?
Yeah, so if you go onto Facebook under groups, or I'm sorry, Facebook under events, and then I would just put title companies in your area.
Okay.
So try and find like some of the local ones, and then they do host things. So like grand openings or
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, I could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Some usually it's just sometimes it's like at a food truck place, you just show up. Sometimes you have to pay $45 for you get two drink tickets. You put your name in there and then, you just go around and you're like, "Hi, I'm a remote online notary." And then say it a little bit better than that. But usually you shake your hand and they're like, "What do you do?" And then you're like, "Oh, I'm a remote online notary." And then they'll ask, "What does that mean?" And it's, "Oh, yeah." So then it goes through the list of, "Oh, I didn't know that was legal." It's like, "Yep, it's been illegal since 2012, whatever." And then hopefully by that time they're like, "Oh, I could have used you." This is the conversation that I have over and over again. They're like, I could have used you last week. I needed to do XYZ. And then I'm like, here's my card. So that way next time. And then I ask them if they have a social media, typically like a business social media. Typically they do. And then
Right.
that way we just follow each other and then they get into my CRM of the social media CRM. So customer relationship management, they see how I work and how everything runs. Yeah.
So
But
it's just
it
like rearing them into your to your little world, like social
Yes,
media
yes,
world.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah. So I call it my ecosystem. I said that to one of my friends and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's my ecosystem." So like it's omni-channel marketing is a basically a way of getting all of them all at the same time. And so follow them on LinkedIn, follow them on Instagram, all of the different ways that you can stay top of mind. And then once you get to that point, so next week at some point, we'll talk about email marketing. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. You're fine. Okay, so I think that's a good point for us to leave it, but thank you. You also
Thank
made
you.
me cry.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's good. It resonates with me. It's the same thing. It's been sometimes I think about how lucky I am that I even found out about this as well.
Yeah.
And so it's not lost on me that because I was working five different jobs. Oh, sorry, I'm in a thunderstorm. I was working five different jobs. I think I told you that. And it was like I felt like I constantly was saying goodbye to him. So it's
Yeah.
been like a big difference. Anyway, so anyway, yeah,
Work
it
pays
has.
off.
You what?
Hard work pays off. You've
Yeah,
worked your butt off, and look at you now. So
thank you.
you should be proud of
Thank
yourself.
you.
I'm
Thank you.
sure he's proud of you.
Oh, I appreciate that. No, he's really good, so I think he is too. But okay, I will talk to you sometime next week.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and we have our call to Friday. So just don't forget that to Friday at 12. We're talking about AI and doing faceless, like it's a bunch of marketing.
Okay. Is that what you linked on Slack?
That was for we'll do it again because it's the same link that we've been using, but I'll link it again so that way everybody can jump in for tomorrow because
Okay.
we're combining. So I have a guest speaker. So okay, I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Goodbye.